Hey guys, Drano Zero. Well, as you can tell from the background, we are in the wintertime still. We're in mid-March. We just had some snow. It's a crappy, dreary, drizzly day. And we're going to do a worst case scenario. Oh crap, I got to get something canned up and there's no power. We're off the grid. The S has H to TF. So here we go. I got a feed sack full of some dried sticks that we picked up back when it was dry. And we pick them up and we put them in feed sacks and we set them inside the shed so they keep dry. So we always got dry stuff. I'm going to use my ferro rod. And of course I'm going to use a fire patty to start my fire. I'm going to use a half of a fire patty this time because it is kind of damp and moist in the air and I want it to get the fire going good. I'm going to use my Silver Fire Survivor rocket stove. Now the reason I'm going to use my rocket stove is because the Hunter stove is an excellent stove. But I don't want to have to keep taking the canner off in order to load the stove from the top because the Hunter stove is a top loading stove. Whereas the rocket stove, I can just keep feeding it into the combustion chamber through here. So we're going to use the rocket stove. We've got this canner here, Mr. Hendershot. Thank you very much. I know this. You said this was a backup to your backup to your backup, and you got it really cheap at a yard sale. But still, yet this is awesome. Thank you very much for thinking about us. That's awesome. So we've got our canner here, and we've got 1 jar of deer meat. Because it is an experiment. I don't want to, if it doesn't work, I don't want to waste a whole bunch of stuff. And I've got a couple of inches of water inside of the canner. So now we're going to put the canner together here. And we're going to can this in a pressure canner on the rocket stove. I've had a couple of requests to see if this is even possible to do. I know that this is the same setup where we had that oven at the other day, and it got our little oven up to over 400 degrees, this rocket stove. So I bet you we're going to be able to can on this. So, all right, we got the canner ready to go, and of course we've got our weight here that we'll use the 10-pound weight setting. First things first, let's get a fire going. And of course, you see the fire patty. Man, these things are just awesome. So we're just going to drop this down in the top and let that fire patty do what fire patties do, which is start the fire, no matter if it's wet outside or not, or if it's frozen or covered in mud. You guys have seen my review videos. This thing will start up, man. I love them, fire patties. All right, so let's get this fire going. Actually, now that the fire is already kind of going, I'm going to go ahead and put this canner on here because I don't want to waste any heat that this stove is going to generate. Even while it's making fire, it's still putting out heat. And the way that these things are built, it's still going to get plenty of air from the vents at the bottom and from the combustion chamber vent here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this canner on here. It's got a good, solid, sturdy base. It's not moving that much. We'll let the fire build. Put my little feeder tray, pardon me, put my feeder tray in here and get ready to start feeding my sticks into it. So once our fire gets going good and big here, we'll just kind of do some updates here every few minutes, and we'll see how well this works and how long it takes. It's well, I don't know what time it is, but once we get the thing going good enough to where it's going to start putting out steam, then we'll get back with you then. Okay guys, we are now at 5:01 in the PM. When we started this and I went in the house and got the phone, it was 4:31. So we are at exactly 30 minutes. You can see that there's the good fire going in the burn chamber. You can see that the fire is coming up underneath the pot. And you can see that it is now blowing a good steady stream of steam out. So we're going to time it for 10 minutes. Let the steam vent for 10 minutes like you would do any other canner. And then we'll put the weight on there and keep our fire going. It looks like this is going to work. This is going to be pretty cool if it does. A couple of questions too that I want to answer. Yes, when you're cooking on these rocket stoves and you're burning wood or poo or any kind of biomass, anything that's a carbon based, you're going to get black carbon buildup along the bottom of your pot, but it's easily washed off and it's not that big of a deal. So there we go. This is really cool. Canning completely off the grid with the rocket stove, pressure canning meat. I know there's been other people who have canned outside, I know that Ironhead 41 uses his turkey fryer propane burner thing to can with. Last year I canned on the rocket stove, but I didn't pressure can. It was just a tomato sauce or salsa or something that I was canning, where I didn't have to use, I just used my water bath canner. This is a pressure canner, and it looks to be working fairly well using this Silverfire Survivor rocket stove. And you can see I don't have a lot of sticks sticking in there. I don't have a lot of fuel. It doesn't take a lot. It makes BTUs. That's how it's designed. This little circle right here on front is a little magnet that I put on there. So that way, whenever I lift up my lid, it sticks to the magnet. Oh, it's supposed to stick to the magnet. There we go. It stuck that time. Sticks to the magnet, and it keeps it open so that I can push my sticks and keep feeding my fire. Just keep feeding your fire and pushing them in, just like that. Now, whenever those reach the edge, then I'll get a couple more little pieces of wood. This is stuff that we batoned rather than using sticks. I still have sticks here, but I'm just grabbing whatever out of the sack here. Those are little pieces of wood that we batoned off of larger pieces of firewood. And so there we go. There we have it. Then you load it back up, and you just close down your burn chamber, and it gets plenty of air. And we are rocking and rolling. So at 5:10, it's 5:03 now according to my phone here. At 5:10, I will go ahead and put my 10-pound weight on there, the number 10, because here for my elevation, we do it at 10 pounds of pressure for 90 minutes. So we'll see you in 7 minutes when we put the weight on. Okay guys, we are at 5:10 according to the phone here. So now I'm going to take my weight, the weight that comes with the canner here, and I'm going to put it onto the vent here, and we're going to see how long it takes it to get up to 10 pounds of pressure. It's 5:10, so as soon as we get to 10 pounds, I'll let you know. Alrighty guys, we just hit 10 pounds of pressure. It is 5:20, so it took 10 minutes to get to the 10 pounds of pressure. The weight is, you see the weight there jiggling and releasing the pressure. The gauge says that we are at 10 pounds. The fire's still going good. Stove's still going good. There's a little bit of smoke because I just added some new fuel into it, but it's not smoking a whole lot. That's what it's designed to do. I'm very happy to see we hit 10 pounds of pressure in 10 minutes. That's awesome. So now we wait for 90 minutes. So at 6:45, 6:50, somewhere in there, 90 minutes, we'll get back with you. Unless something happens before then, if something happens beforehand and we blow up or something like that, then we'll let you know. But until then, we're going to let this canner do its thing and keep the fire going. We're just going to keep the fire going hot like it is and let the weight do the work. And we'll get back with you in 90 minutes. Okay guys, we are, well, I'm 1 minute late on my 1 hour check here, but 1 hour and all's well. Still got our little burn chamber burning, and we got our pressurizing, whatever it does, and so far so good. So 30 minutes we'll be done. So we'll see you in 30 minutes. And I gotta tell you, this is really awesome. I mean, we got a crappy day. It's just, you know, there's not much you would be doing on a day like today anyway, because you can't do anything in the garden. It's still cold and wet, and everything's soaking wet. But you can come out here and put your boots on and build you a fire and use your pressure canner on your rocket stove to can whatever it is that you need to can. Very cool. I'm happy. I'm doing my happy dance. All right, I'll stop. We'll see you in 30 minutes. Okay guys, you can see it's 6:50 now, and this thing has been going for an hour and a half. It has worked really, really well. I'm very pleased with how it's worked. We didn't use up that much wood at all. I was really surprised. This thing is, I just can't say enough about these Silverfire stoves, man. They rock. So what I'm going to do now is I got a couple of bricks set up here. I'm just going to pull the canner off, and be careful because this thing is about, I don't know, 753,000 degrees. So you want to use gloves and mitts and rags or towels or whatever you have. I'm just going to pull it off of the stove and set it down here on these bricks to start cooling off. Now, while I got you here, I want to show you the carbon that builds up on the outside. Most of it can just be wiped off with your towel like that. There's just the smoke and soot. Now when you get down here to the bottom, It may take a little bit more washing, but wash it with soap and water or some vinegar water. I'm sure somebody out there will put in the comments, I hope somebody does anyway, what's the best way to take the stuff off the bottom. But most of it can just be wiped off because it's just smoke and just soot and stuff. So there you go as far as cleaning that stuff up. And yeah, your towels will get dirty, but you know, it is what it is. So now just let this here. We're just going to let this the stove burn out. If you had a little pot of water, we could boil up some water, which we just might do, and make some coffee because coffee is good. And we'll be back in a little bit. Once this is completely cooled down and the gauge says 0, then we'll take the weight off and we'll make sure that it's completely cool, and we'll open it up and hopefully it don't blow up or something. But should be all right. So we'll see you in a bit. Okay, guys, I want to show you what's left over from the stove. Now these are still, it's only been, I don't know, 35 or so minutes. These coals are still glowing hot, but I just wanted to show you it burns down everything to almost nothing. All that canning that we did, and that's what's left. All the wood that we burned and all the canning, running that pressure canner, that's what we got left after the burn. All right. So this is cooled down enough, I hope. I took the weight off of it. There's no more pressure. The gauge says it's 0. So let's see what we got here. Very carefully take my top off. I set it up on these bricks so that it could get a little bit more airflow to cool off a little bit quicker. And I hope it worked. Always lift the lid away from you because there will be steam coming out and it will burn you. Very hot. Set the lid to the side. Now we didn't put any vinegar in here, so the jar is cloudy, but it looks like it worked very, very well. There is 1 jar of pressure canned deer meat done on a rocket stove. You gotta love it. I know I love it. Just gonna wipe this water cloud off of here, off of the jar. So there you go, there you have it. A few handfuls of sticks and some thin pieces of batoned wood, a pressure canner, a Silverfire Survivor rocket stove, man alive, and we can can meat. We will be doing this more often. We will be doing this a lot because this did not cost us anything. We didn't have to turn the stove on. We didn't have to turn the burner on to high and get it all hot and run it for an hour and a half. Some sticks and a fire, man. And if I can do it, you can do it. So get yourself a rocket stove and get yourself a pressure canner. And if you already have that stuff, then by golly, here we go. I know for a fact that you can pressure can on a rocket stove because I just did it. So don't know what else to say. I'm very pleased. It's getting dark. It's getting colder. You guys, thank you very much for watching. Give it a shot. It was pretty easy. I'm happy. So God bless. In the end. Buzz, buzz. The end.